Welcome back, collective. Welcome back, my subscribers, new and existing. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. Welcome back to Shadow Work Series Part 1, you guys. So I'm going to get us started, jump right into, let's see what the most important aspects of shadow we need to discuss this week, collective. Again, this is a collective effort. This is things that we all deal with at some point in our lives. So I like to talk about the things that nobody wants to talk about, give you some wisdom, advice, because we need to work through and heal through those things about ourselves that are not the greatest, but also block us from our blessings, because we all deserve to be blessed. So, where are we starting this week? In Shadow Series Part 1, we have the unknown. Okay. Uncertainty is the only certainty there is. Surrender, curiosity, and faith. I like this as a beginning message because I think a lot of the times people have fear around change, because with change, there is the unknown. There is that sense of not knowing what's coming, and people fear taking steps forward because they don't know what the outcome is going to be. So, your advice, if you are someone who fears change, is to surrender. Surrender to curiosity and have faith, right? Because that's exactly what faith is. Faith is not knowing how, but believing it's going to happen anyway. So, surrender to the unknown. Don't worry so much about trying to control the outcome, and just allow your curiosity to thrive. Have faith, because uncertainty, just like change, is the only certainty. Beautiful. Then we have soul mirrors. Okay. Others reflect your own relationship with yourself. So have an open heart and be willing to heal, come into union with yourself. So this reminds me every time I see this one of the twin flame definition. Your twin flame is your mirrored self, and each twin flame on their own journeys, they're going to be on different timelines. Most of the time, you guys will trigger each other, or somebody that's close to you, a soulmate bond, a friend will trigger you. And it is because they are going to reflect back to you what you don't see in yourself. And this is an opportunity for you to open your heart and heal whatever that trigger is. If something makes you feel anxious, nervous, makes you withdraw, makes you angry, it's a trigger. So it's time to slow down and take a look in the mirror and figure out why you are being triggered. What is it about your past or something that you've been through that's creating this feeling that needs to be healed? Then we have parental control. This is a huge one when it comes to shadow, because a lot of our trauma, the things that affect us even now as adults, happened in our childhood. So some people had very controlling parents. This is overpowering authority. When you have parents that are very authoritative and have their thumb and nose in everything about your life, your whole life, it makes you become a person that likes to be in control of other people's lives, to the point of not respecting other people's boundaries, to the point of not being able to surrender to the unknown because you always want to control the narrative. Mm-hmm. Conditional approval. Basically, you are only valuable based on these conditions. So that type of thought process as a kid growing up, where you feel like you have to always perform for your parent to get recognition or to be told you were valuable or loved. It means that you grew up with conditional love, which is not true love. It is manipulation. It is control. Rebellion, freeze. And at some point, people either go one or two ways. They continue to be people pleasers into their adulthood, or they end up rebelling completely and going against all authority. What category are you in, collective? Control issues, confirmation. There you go. So you either grow up with control issues yourself, and now you want to control the narrative of everybody in your life around you. And that is because you are trying to portray yourself in a certain way. So you try to manipulate the minds of everyone. Fear of losing power or false security leads to vulnerability. Release, trust, empowerment. This is also just about, again, surrendering, trusting the path, trusting others' choices. But when there is a lack of trust, when there is a level of manipulation, there's somebody who's always going to want to keep control. Envy, another big one. Lack, comparison, and resentment. Envy creates anger, creates resentment. It breaks hearts, relationships, close bonds. And the sad thing is, I feel like envy is always seen from the wrong lens. So if you look at this picture as the example, the person that is within the mirror, this is the perspective the person outside of the mirror sees in this other individual. This is what they, quote unquote, wish they looked like, dressed like, they wish their life was like, on whatever level the envy lies. But the sad part is that most of the time when people feel envy for another, they don't understand what's truly happening in the background. This is all based on surface level pretentiousness. Nobody knows what somebody's life is like on a daily basis and what it took for them to get to that place in life. So what are you truly envying? Because if you had to step in that person's shoes that you claim to envy, would you be able to go through the trials and tribulations that that person most likely has gone through or is currently going through, but you cannot see it because they have covered it up with the nice clothes and the lavish lifestyle? Because from what I heard, more money, more problems. So, to envy somebody who is famous, like most people do within society, I mean, it's okay to have someone to idolize, but what are you idolizing? Is it really the individual, or is it the life that they portray that you really don't know anything about? Rose-colored glasses. So make sure that you are seeing things clearly before you feel envious. And why feel envious? Is it because you are not willing to change something about your own life to make you feel more gratitude for what you have? Sacred boundaries. Boundaries are so important, and also shedding the illusion. Shedding the illusion helps to get rid of envy. Seeing things for what they truly are. If you have somebody in your life that you feel you envy and it is something that you have not expressed, which most people don't, and that comes with a level of courage, that comes with a level of acceptance that maybe there's some shortcomings that you feel about your own life. But I feel like if this is somebody truly you are close to that you envy, you would be open enough to say to them how you were feeling. Because maybe, just maybe, if the picture is made a little bit clearer for you and you really saw their life, maybe you would understand there's nothing to envy. Maybe there should be some type of recognition for the things that they had to go through in order to get to that place in life. Envy, I feel most of the time, is misplaced, but it is based on how you feel about you and what you feel you are lacking. So why is it that you are not working on what you feel lack in? Why feel envy when you can also work on getting to a place that you also have gratitude for? are proud of. Sacred boundaries. Boundaries are very important. People are very quick to violate other people's boundaries, and it makes me question their level of self-respect, respect for others. Violating people's privacy is interesting because there's so much technology that the people who are scammers, who hack into other people's accounts and watch people, surveillance people, track people, it's interesting that they feel that they're clever enough that nobody knows that they're doing it and they're not being watched. It's time to shed those illusions. The first step is awareness. Self awareness is important, but it is sometimes lacking. And the second step is acceptance, accepting that maybe people who choose to hack other people and surveillance other people are maybe not that clever. Let's be realistic and honest and show ourselves some love here. Lashing out, anger, deflection, emotional armor. These are people who are very sad on deep down. People who lash out in anger, they are not truly angry. They are very sad. They are absolutely heartbroken. They are hurt and they don't know how to express that emotion of hurt and be vulnerable. They choose not to because it makes them feel as if they are weak. They do not want to look weak because they are still worried about people pleasing instead of living in their true authenticity. The world can respect somebody who has a true emotion and can express that emotion, especially if the situation calls for it. No one's angry about the person who lashes out when their person in their life passes away suddenly or goes through a traumatic experience. Of course, they're going to feel angry and lash out. See, that has meaning, true meaning. But this lashing out is projection. It is because the sadness is there. It has been suppressed for so long. And now you need a release. So that person needs a release. So they pick a person in their life that they feel is the most vulnerable to lash out on to make themselves feel better, which it doesn't. Because their sadness and their broken heart is still there. And they have not healed it. And this will be a repeated cycle of lashing out until it is healed. Unconscious loops, familiar pain. See, familiar pain, pattern addiction, repeating cycles. People hide, or try to anyway. It's never really hidden, even though they think it is, their addictions. When people think that you don't pay attention, that what they're doing in the dark is really hidden, it never is. It's always seen in some way or another, even if nobody tells you to your face, people notice. Because your patterns are very noticeable if you're paying attention even a little bit. And even though most people are not self-aware, some patterns can't be ignored. Again, no boundaries. Boundaries are very significant to my collective. People are struggling with creating healthy boundaries, whether that is with parental figures, whether that is with friends or their own partners. I feel that a lot of the times people allow outside people outside of your relationships come in and violate a boundary within a connection, and it creates tension. Maybe it is unconscious to the other party, but the person who is affected, maybe you're not also speaking up about it. So it creates moments of lashing out because you feel like your partner should know or your parents should know that they're violating your boundaries. But sometimes people just don't have that level of self-awareness. So you have to speak up. You have to say what you feel. You have to get rid of their control issues over you by standing your ground. Attracting wounded partners. another pattern, because you are unhealed, because you are looking to fill a void that cannot be filled by a person, only through healing. It creates a trauma bond. And it's very interesting. Trauma bonding is a very big topic coming up this week. But it is your mirror. Again, that mirror effect. So, what strengths and abilities, hidden strengths and abilities, will help my collective deal with their shadow this week? Union, universe. Your connection to the universe is stronger than you think. Have you felt disconnected lately? Reconnect with your inner spirit and the world around you. The universe is always guiding you. Get grounded this week. Go out in nature so that you can bring yourself some enlightenment on a situation that you're dealing with. I feel like you guys have a certain situation that you've been trying to figure out how to resolve, but I feel like you don't know the steps to take. I feel like you feel lost. You don't know who to ask because your fear of being judged or talked about in a negative way when you already kind of feel down. Maybe you have been lashing out because you are truly sad about something that you are tired of dealing with or feeling, but you want the enlightenment at the same time. You want to be on path of truth. You want a higher truth. But maybe you're surrounded by people who have a different belief. Maybe you grew up in a family where everybody's religious, so you can't really ask them the questions that you want to ask regarding spiritual growth, right? And you don't want to be judged or deal with backlash, especially if you have controlling parents. That's very significant here. Get grounded. Go outside at the park or just take a drive or sit at the beach. I know sitting at the beach is, for me, something that is so soothing. I love sitting at the beach, especially at night, with a bonfire, with a big warm blanket, not doing anything. Because I feel like in those moments, you don't need to do anything to enjoy the moment. Because as you sit there, nature is doing everything for you, also bringing you clarity in the silence. But is there really silence when there's ocean, the water crashing, the wind is blowing, the fire is cackling? See, while there is no chaos, there is no external noise. There is the sound of nature that can bring you clarity. It can bring you the answers. It allows you to ask the questions out in the open that you're scared to ask to some one person individually, because the universe is always listening. The Most High God is always listening. He is always ready to listen to what you need. Your spirit team, your ancestors. That's why your connection to them, to the universe, is so important, because that is who fills your energy and your vibration, even if the people around you don't even understand that. That's for somebody. It's an opportunity for an openness moment that creates new possibilities. Are you ready to embrace them, though? Stay open to new experiences and you might find unexpected opportunities for healing. Confirmation. Thank you, Spirit. Wow. Some of you guys have questions about your marriage. There's something that you've been wanting to heal in regards to how you see commitment, is what I'm feeling. Maybe you, again, growing up in a place where your parents were very controlling, the thought of being in a commitment and the old ball and chain doesn't really seem that exciting, but It is the perception that you were given. So it's all that you know. But I feel like you feel there is something more in regards to a union, in regards to connection with another that you've never experienced. Or maybe you have experienced it and didn't believe it was real until you push it away. And now you're lashing out of anger because you're sad and depressed about it. And you're looking for answers. You want to be enlightened because you are tired of the illusions. You're ready to shed the illusions. And you know that there's so much on the other side of this, the unknown that you fear. But maybe you're ready to look in the mirror. Maybe you're ready to heal what hurts. Yeah, a confirmation. You're ready for clarity. You are ready for the clarity, whoever it is I'm connecting to. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, here's the energy from what I'm getting, from how these cards fell on top of healing, on top of marriage, on top of openness, and inside of clarity. Whoever it is I'm connecting to in this message right now, in my collective, you want clarity because there is a connection that you want to heal and you want to be open with someone. You want to be open. You want a renewal, a reconciliation with somebody that you are separated from. You are tired of attracting wounded partners. You are tired of being part of the wounded partners. You are looking for your soulmate. You are wanting to be enlightened on how to heal, but you know that it has to come from being open, and this scares you. Because you know that you are repeating cycles. You are exhausted of the repeated cycles. You are trying to create boundaries away from people who seem to not want to see you do well. And you have now clarity about this. You know that you are surrounded by people who have control issues, who just want to keep you stuck. You have also clarity about this. You have had a lot of moments of enlightenment recently. Maybe not so recent, maybe within the last year or two, but you are seeing very clearly. And I feel like you're trying to figure out what to do, how to take the next step, how to become more empowered. And I feel like there is a very important connection that you want to reconcile. You see this person as your forever person. You are now understanding that marriage is about true commitment. It is about being ready to take responsibility and the challenges that will come with it. But maybe now that you understand what love is not, maybe you're ready to feel what love is. Wow. Yes, you are awakened to this potential. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, at the bottom of the deck. This is what you've just been enlightened about, the fact that people were creating confusion, but you allowed this confusion to lead you to clarity. You were feeling lost for a very long time, but you slowed down. You started to truly look and pay attention. You were patient, and now you have the clarity. It came on your own time. It may have taken you a little while, but you now have your clarity. Let's get you your Archangel. That'll help you right now. What's the most important Archangel for this collective? Okay. Archangel Athnakiel. Number 40 could be significant. You could be in your 40s. Sagittarius energy, angel of independence, freedom, spiritual growth, light, power, enhanced pineal gland, wisdom, exploration. I hope open the door to freedom in all areas of life through spiritual enlightenment and discovery of truth. bronzite crystal can be very helpful to you. The month of November was very significant for whoever this is I'm connecting to, and big changes are coming. Wow. So this is going to be the Archangel that you can connect to, you can call on at this time as you deal with these changes. Let me get your animal spirit for this week before I close this out. The most important animal spirit. Wow. Wow. Okay. Owl, crow. Air is very significant. You could have air highly aspected in your chart. And the golden egg, spirit, connecting to spirit. Wow. Whew. Okay. Give me a second, but let me get your messages, because I feel like this is very significant for somebody who is watching me. I feel like this is truly almost a personal message. So owl, abundance, clairvoyant, treasures. The owl is a mysterious and otherworldly creature found in folklore from east to west. The white owl in this particular deck is the companion of the goddess Lakshmi and represents wealth, beauty, and good fortune. When the owl card appears, it's an omen that a boom or a treasure is on the way, either in spiritual or material form. With owl wisdom on your side, you'll see and know exactly what to do with this treasure, how it can further serve your dharma and bring abundance to the world. Trust that the wellspring of treasures is infinite. So you have abundance coming. And I feel like your abundance is tied to the clarity that you are gaining, to the choices that you are making to change, to truly see a situation for what it is and make changes. Wow. Then we have the crow. Again, birds are very significant to you at this time. Spiritually strong, creative, watchful. The crow has long been a symbol of magic. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. It is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the third realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear, when you have clarity. Those with crow tendencies must balance their lives with a healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. So this is about being imbalanced. In order to always have clarity about your past, your present, and your future, it means taking care of your body, taking care of yourself, being around people in good energy, eating a healthy diet. Yes, some of you guys have very strong psychic abilities that you are starting to learn as you gain clarity and you go through your healing. I feel like these abilities are going to become more apparent to you. So keep doing the work, collective. Okay. Wow. Golden egg, message at the center of the heart. So this is also about your heart, balance between the mind and the heart, and having clarity about the direction that you want to go in and knowing the changes that you need to make so that you can reach your abundance. Wow. I love being able to deliver this message, these messages to you, collective. Within the golden egg lives a precious sound. Deep within that sound resides a message. The sound cannot be heard nor the message discerned until we retreat from the noise of modern day life. The magical essence of the golden egg needs warmth. Wow, fire on the beach. Quiet and time to unfold. No rushing, pushing, or grasping. Find a place of deep and restful ease, perhaps through yoga or meditation. If you do not yet have a meditation practice, take some time for introspection or contemplation. When the mind begins to settle and the breath is calm, ask the questions that weighs heaviest on your heart. Didn't I just say that, you guys? When you're sitting at the beach at a bonfire, It is your moment to speak and ask those questions to the universe from your heart, staying open to any response you hear. Engaging with the energy of the golden egg is an advanced practice. It requires becoming intimate with our very essence and comfortable with vulnerability. When a feeling of tenderness or gratitude arises from deep within you, know that you are well on your way. Your chest may swell like you are seeing an old friend that's been away for a long, long time. Listen to the message they've been waiting to tell you. This is what this is about, this reconciliation for you guys. There's somebody that you miss very much. You feel stuck within a connection, but there's somebody that you want to reconcile because you have way more clarity. You have been enlightened on a situation. And I feel like there's somebody that you want to talk to, you want a renewal with, you want to be open with and vulnerable. But before, this was very hard for you because your heart had not healed and is still in the process of healing. Maybe this is someone who you had negative feelings towards because maybe you envied their life, maybe not understanding all the details, because maybe it felt like your life was just so much worse off. But I feel like with conversation, there can be clarity, possibility of renewal if there is true openness. And even if this doesn't turn into a marriage or some type of long-term romantic commitment, maybe it just can become a commitment between two souls that are meant to be bounded together in some way, shape, or form to assist each other with your healing. The clarity is here. The mind and the heart is coming into balance. Connect with spirit. Confirmation. Close the door on the past. Throw out the trash if you want this renewal. Confirmation. Now, this is a very strong energy for someone or a few of you guys in the collective. So just take what resonated if this wasn't your full story, but I know that this is specific to a handful of you right now. So I hope you receive it. I hope this helps you in your next steps. Wow. All right, you guys. If this is part of your story and you would like to share, I would love to hear about it in the comments. But until next time, you guys, I will see you in Shadow Work Part 2. But if this is where I leave you, have a great rest of your day and your week. Bye.